Erev Tov Chavrim, I'm Steve Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and probably this time around here, I don't really think we're going to have any issues with the broadcast because, well, I have to tell you like it is. I don't think they really care about this particular subject here as they do with other subjects that we cover, especially if you go into that, the thing about Noah and those supposed laws that he has, right? Anyway, listen, I've been getting ready all day today for this conference there with up in Cincinnati. Or is that right, Cincinnati? Maybe I've got it wrong. Let me look it up real quick. But anyway, I've been getting ready for this, the conference there. Just go to, check it out. You can look it up, you guys, yourself there, paulbegleyprophecy.com. The prophecy, the conference this coming week, May the 11th. And as I was getting ready for this conference, I just so happened to catch on RT News yesterday, actually. They were doing a broadcast on RT about the disputed water rights of the Arctic Circle. And I was hoping to be able to actually get the article or the story from RT because that's the one I listened to. But then I looked it up also online here, and the Moscow Times also had an article about this by Elizabeth Buchanan. And it's a very interesting article, and I want to read this to you a little bit because I think I know why there's a big issue about the Arctic Circle. It says, not a day goes by without mentioning a looming new Cold War in the Arctic. Apparently, conflict between Russia and the West is now linked inextricably to a phenomena of melting ice caps. Russia's Arctic interest has, however, not matched its assertive foreign policy elsewhere, as per Ukraine or Syria. Russia is the largest Arctic state and has long history in the Arctic, predating Vladimir Putin. Moscow's Arctic interest is to be expected, and in reality, Russian Arctic strategy is logical in the scope and ambition. I don't really need to read much more of the article here. Let's get a overview. World. Let's see. Let's just go with a world top view. Arctic Circle, and I'm sure my flat earth friends will love me using that type of a picture, but well, here we go, this was a good one right here, but that's really not what I'm looking for. You have to understand, even if you're a flat earther, I know that we have, like, if you look at the flat earth type models, you're dealing more with like that direct overhead view, and then they kind of flatten out the whole thing into a big pancake, and they say the ice runs on the outside. But the problem is you still have that ice in the middle. So it doesn't matter which way you go. If you're going to do a flat earth model, we have that big cap of ice sits right there in the center, and but I'm going to be talking about this in this conference with Paul, mainly because I'm not, when it comes to Nibiru Planet X, I'm not necessarily the main guy that can speak to the evidence of this, other than I've got this little mysterious flash drive that's got some rather interesting information on there, very interesting information. And I know that when I get into this subject, we talk about Planet X or Nibiru, then my friends that are flat earthers, they really kind of go nuts over it. And I get all these messages, and they're like, the earth is flat, the earth is flat. Why are you bothering with that? It's not, there's nothing, no such thing, it's not going to happen. All right? But I got to share something with you guys. And let me just pull up my PowerPoint presentation that I'll be doing there, because I've got something on here I really want to share with you guys. I mean, it's very fascinating to me. All right, and I need you guys to be able to see this so you can really see where I'm coming from here. All right. really have a strong suspicion that the government is not foolish. They don't want people knowing about something. They're going to give you all kinds of rabbit trails and all kinds of things to create division so that you don't know what's really coming. All right? The Silk Road. I've talked to you guys about this many times in the past. The Silk Road, as you can see here, this is another Russian Northern Sea Route part of the Silk Road that they are proposing. I don't know how well you guys can see this with the phone, but I'm hoping it'll work all right. It would leave Shanghai, it would go around Russia, come through the Arctic Circle, and come back down to Hamburg, Germany there. And they would cut the route. Let's see, the Northeast Passage is 8,700 miles. The way they're going now, all the way back around through the Suez Canal, is 12,400 miles from Shanghai. All right? So this is one of the sea routes that they have proposed in this as a maritime travel point. But why would they propose it when it's totally frozen? I mean, think about it. It's completely frozen up there. Well, we call it the North Pole. And at the same time, if you look at the Chilean astronomer, and I've got a little article on him here as well, Carlos Furada, he died at the age of 91. When he was 90 years old, he released the evidence where he had been working for almost 50 years following this planet comet, as he called it, that's in an elliptical orbit that he believes would be passing by our solar system at a given time. Now, Furada, some people say he predicted it for 1999. He never predicted it for 1999. He said in 1999, that's when the Earth would begin to start feeling the effects of it entering into our solar system. You got to keep in mind, this is not something that just, like Halley's Comet, boom, it's gone again. You know, it's coming through, but the way it moves, it's got 3 different speeds that it moves at. But if there's something that's really going to cause a cataclysm of destruction, do you think they really want the world in panic? This man right here was arrested by his own government multiple times when he would discover a new prediction that was going to cause massive earthquakes, and he predicted several of them to the very day. And he would come down to tell the people to warn them. Very well respected astronomer. He worked not only in Chile with the astronomy department there, but he also worked in France. Very well educated, very smart man there. But they would actually arrest him for disturbing the peace because the people would get frantic when he would begin to make warnings. But his warnings were always accurate. And he spoke about this coming as well. All right? Now, again, I know if I believe flat Earth, I probably would care less myself either. Really couldn't care less about it because I think as far as, if I understand right, in the flat Earth belief, none of this can happen anyway. But let's take and you have to ask yourself the question, what if it is possible, though, that it is coming? What if our evidence is not quite enough to support? Because I know that, like, for example, one thing I was looking at when I was researching on the flat Earth, and even Mr. Sargent, the guy, I think it's Mark Sargent, that's in the documentary they put on Netflix, I watched that as well. There's never been a whistleblower come out, at least from what I understood in the documentary there, to give credence to the flat Earth. And of course, the argument is that, there's just the reason why they don't have any whistleblowers because they can't. It's not possible. I couldn't agree with that because there's too many people that risk their lives and end up in prison for being whistleblowers as it is on all kinds of issues to start with. But that's beside the point. Let's just say hypothetically, though, What better way to cover up a major disaster coming on the earth than create a whole bunch of scenarios that may not be true to start with? So that the people that do have the ability to really think and to study and to research, you create enough confusion to where nobody's looking. So I just wanted you to think about that, all right? And I'm not, listen, I love the people on both sides of the fence. So don't think Brother Steve's here to throw anybody under the bus. I'm not here to do that. But as I've said to you guys on many occasions before too, the United States is never included, with the exception of one case where the LaRoche Foundation said that the U.S. needs to start considering being part of the Silk Road Initiative. All the maps for the Silk Road, though, other than the LaRoche Foundation, exclude the U.S. as part of the One Belt, One Road Initiative or the Silk Road Initiative. In my opinion, it's because there's a major event going to happen to the northern hemisphere of the United States. Now, when I say that, it could be war. But also, I go into this issue, though, because what's so strange is this whole unrest over the Arctic area between the United States and Russia. Russia's been putting military installations there. Why? Think about it. If there's going to be a polar shift and that ice is going to melt, this is why they're getting ready to be rivalry over it. If they know something's going to happen majorly and everything's going to change on this earth, then of course the North Pole no longer ends up being in the North Pole, then what's going to happen? Think about also, like for example, we know that Hollywood sends all kinds of movies out there as a subliminal message, so to speak, about what's coming because the elite feel responsible, that they have to warn you in some way, but they don't really tell you. A lot of movies, whether it be Armageddon, asteroid coming, got to figure out a way to deflect the asteroids because it could cause a cataclysm for the Earth. And there are whistleblowers that have come out and said these things that work with NASA. We are also dealing with the situation that if we deal with a pole shift, then you have like the movie, what is it, The Day After Tomorrow, something like that. Now they look at it as global warming causes suddenly all this melt-off causes the changes of temperature in the oceans, which in turn causes a mass storms across the globe. But you have to realize, when the poles begin to shift, I don't know how long it'll take it for it to do it. We may be experiencing earthquakes, all kinds of massive things, but as that pole begins to shift too, the cold waters begin to melt, does create storms, and as it shifts, especially if the United States is going north, might be similar to that movie to where it goes to like a mini ice age, but it's actually over within, 48 hours? And then they're talking about that being melted off and having a passageway through there. I mean, right now it's not any passageway. Other than taking a submarine, you're definitely not getting around to Europe, but they know it's water there. I think it's really something to think about, guys. I really do. It's really strange what's happening. And not only that, all these wars in the Middle East too. Why is everything that is in that area of the One Belt, One Road Initiative, why is all this conquering got to be done? I mean, look, we've got everything on the map right there, all the Middle East area. They're killing all these people off. They want to kill off people down in Africa as well. They're doing it with all those wars down there too. Are they trying to make way for those that are decimated from what happens to the United States and Canada, that their elites that they keep in their little underground bunkers, they can safely move them over to those ghost cities in China and stuff? Remember I talked about that before? There you go. 60 Minutes did a broadcast on it. Think about it. By the way, in the news, just to kind of bring you guys up to speed a little bit too, Russian Air Force unleashes hell on the jihadists responsible for the Hamim attack on their air base. And it's still really heavy going on over there in Syria. The Syrian army also begins the offensive in the northeast. Latakia first area captured. So there's just a lot of unsettling things that are happening there in the Middle East. Always something evil going on. Just seems like there's no end to anything. By the way, if you want to join us with Twitter, Israeli News Live at Stephen Denoon, Denoon. You can follow us over there on Twitter. We're always on Twitter, looking at things that are going on. Also, too, Mikael D. I just noticed this here. Undergoing nearly 10,000 troops from Belgium, Great Britain, Germany, Georgia, Canada, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland, and the USA, Ukraine, Finland, France, and Estonia are taking part in exercises Spring Storm in the northeast of Estonia. Goal is to increase combat readiness. Wow. What do you know there? They're getting ready for Russia. I mean, you know, that's another thing, too, to think about it. If you really think about what's going on over there in this fight for Russia, could that be also that Russia, especially if the Earth begins to, when it tilts, if it tilts where the North American countries go towards the North Pole, Russia becomes a far more inhabitable land. That might be one reason why there's so much interest in the land of Russia. So it could be that they're getting ready to mount a major war so they have control of that area. These are just some things to think about, guys. Conjectures, I realize. I just wanted to share some of them with you. Thank you for watching. You have a blessed evening, and hopefully we can see you up there as well. May the 11th, that's this coming Saturday. And I'll just quickly, let's see if we can pull this up again. I'm not very good at, let's see, Paul Begley, prophecy.com. There it is right there. Under events, May the 11th. I don't know if there's any tickets left, but there may be. You just go to the website. You can order the tickets there. The heavens are shaking. Conference set up. The speakers, it'll be there. It'll be myself, Paul, John Moore, who's the libertyman.com, has been privileged with the classified information over his long career, and Clyde Lewis of Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis, a news personality. He'll be speaking there as well. It is a closed-door meeting. From what I understand, there will be no cameras or anything permitted because of the information that will be shared, so there will be no private recordings. I don't know if Paul will be recording this himself. I have no idea, but I would assume somebody's going to record it in the event that they're going to release information in the future. But I do know that there's supposedly going to be information that will be spoken about at this conference that they do not want just to be thrown out to the general public. So just so you're aware of that. It's not that expensive to attend. I think it's $39. Yeah, $39 of the tickets there. And I know if you back up, you can, I think you just click on, whoop, I messed up, sorry. But let me go back to this here. I think if you click on tickets, it gives you the ability to go, yeah, there you go. Now you can actually get the tickets there, and gives you the times. It's 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday, May the 11th. Noah's Event Center, 10627 Techwood Circle, Blue Ash, Ohio. That's actually, you can click on the map. That is in the northeast outside of Cincinnati. Let me kind of back you out so you get a better bird's eye view of that. Oh yes, so, yeah, Cincinnati, Ohio. And on the far outskirts, northeast outskirts of town there, and south of Daytona. So those of you that would be driving in or something. My wife is coming as well. She's not speaking at the conference, but I'm sure she'd be glad to meet some of you there if you happen to be there. So we look forward to seeing you guys. Anyway, I'm Steve Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live. In a world of Ein Shalom, there is no peace, but I say shalom to you and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Erev Tov.